Welcome back, you sick, masochistic saps.
I think there's another Star Trek episode with Q. Can we do that? I'll even settle for Mrs. Troy.
If only. It's Rings of Power time again.
No.
Prepare for the pain sticks.
Oh.
So, we begin with, what's his name again? Elfward, Arendir. Arendir, that's it.
I'm going to take your word on that.
He wakes up in Orc custody. Not a place you want to be waking up. People have commented on the design of the orcs in this show. It's one of the least aggravating things.
It's better than the Hobbit movies because they're actual makeup orcs instead of CG.
Yes, it's actual people in actual makeup. I'll give them that. They do look different from the Third Age orcs that we've seen, but this is a different part of the world and a different era, and we know that there was a lot of physical dimorphism between different breeds of orcs, so I'm okay with this. These particular orcs seem to be digging, or rather, managerially administrating while other people do the actual work of digging.
So apparently the orcs are part of corporate America.
Are you surprised? And they work, air quotes audible, for Adar. Whoever that is, although I know that's Sindarin for father.
It's not true.
And Arendir runs into his old war buddies from the Elven Tower who have also been captured. You know, this is actually not a bad opening. Oh wait, it's Rings of Power. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here.
The story moves, it just always moves downward.
So again, here's Galadriel waking up.
Does she have to? Downward, downward, I said it.
She is also waking up in a place you don't want to be, below decks on a strange ship.
Or on an Amazon show.
And they meet their rescuers, the friendly neighborhood Numenorians, captained by Elendil. Oh, and if you didn't know, it's this guy.
Victory was near.
So yes, again, the entire Second Age is a long weekend because this man's death is pretty much going to be the end of the Second Age.
Why are they insisting on rushing to the end of this story? If Peter Jackson told his like this, we'd kick off Fellowship of the Ring here.
We did it, Mr. Frodo. We made it to Mordor.
To what port do we sail?
See for yourself.
Okay, here's another thing that I can give some praise to. Numenor looks gorgeous, at least from here. I like that they have all these beautiful historic statues. I like the kind of half Asian, half Egyptian vibe they've got going with their ship sails. You see some of those same stark monochromatic designs that you see in the Gondor stuff, only instead of being white and black, this is more like shades of pale gold and deep blue. It's beautiful, at least in this angle. Unfortunately, soon people will start talking, and also, soon we're going to move from the beautiful distance shots and matte paintings into the street level, which will look completely different and nowhere near as good.
Again, to talk about the long weekend, Numenor was established at the beginning of the Second Age, right after they overthrew Morgoth, as a reward for these men's participation with the elves. And this is supposed to be a long degradation to the fallen society Numenor is. You wasted all of that just so you could make everything immediate, just so we could go right to the characters we know. Because why would we want to get to know a new society and see it turn from the grand, noble kingdom of men into a horrible, almost Mordorian society of abusers and exploiters? No, we don't want to see that. Just cut to them right being bad guys.
Did we learn nothing from the DCEU?
No.
Keep moving. You would not want to be lost here without an escort.
Wait. You're telling me there are bad neighborhoods in Armenelos,
The Fresh Maker.
City of Kings, pre Farazon, pre-worship of Sauron, there are parts of Armenelos
The Fresh Maker.
where you don't want to be at night. Fine. We'll do it your way, show.
But we won't like it.
So they go to see Tar Miriel, the queen, even though...
Captain, the Queen Regent is occupied.
What? Okay, sure, whatever.
No one kneels in Numenor.
No one kneels? Are you sure? No, I have to stop trying to make this line up with real Tolkien canon, because the two are, at this point, completely divorced from each other.
So basically, you either want to be this,
What are you doing? We don't do that here.
or this.
You bow to no one.
You are neither.
So Galadriel asks, rather curtly, to be returned to Middle-earth.
All we ask is that Numenor continue his mercy and grant us ship's passage to Middle-earth.
Because, of course, the Lady of Lorien knows nothing of diplomacy, and the Numenorians refuse for no good reason, so, oh boy, it's a carrying off.
What the elf means.
Then if blood be the price of passage, I will pay it. But one way or another, I will depart.
I am important!
I welcome you to try.
I am important!
You know, at least Muriel is in her own country, and Galadriel did come in swinging on this fight, so...
What's the difference between us and them? We live here.
She ends up looking far worse on this. And what is this?
It is because of the elves that you were given this island. Surely you can spare a few planks and a rudder.
Our ancestors were not given anything.
The elves did not give men Numenor. The Valar gave it to them. They gave it to men because of their own deeds. The deeds of the Edain, their own ancestors, not because of any damn thing the elves did.
Other than being on the same side as the elves.
So Halbrand gives a more diplomatic response.
Perhaps it'd be better if we stay.
Stay?
Long enough, good queen, to give you and your advisors adequate time to weigh our request.
If you already know who Halbrand is,
That's sad.
even if you don't know who Halbrand is an uneducated nobody as far as the show knows at this point, so it's still pathetic when the hobo next to you is more diplomatic than you.
And our Farazon, played by... is that Chris Pine from the future?
Dude, how bad are the movie projects in the future if you came here?
Well, at any rate, future Kirk agrees, and Halbrand somehow manages to snitch Galadriel's knife back. Look, guys, just because the camera can't see it doesn't mean the characters can't see it. There are people standing right over there. His hand is in full view.
They have no reason to be suspicious of strangers here. They like strangers in Numenor. That's been established.
Tell me about this captain.
His name is Elendil.
Oh, and Tar Miriel needs to be told who Elendil is. Elendil, her second cousin.
And one of the high-ups in the local military, mind you.
And the Lord of Andunier, the second most powerful office in Numenor after the throne. This is like the president needing to be told who his VP is. Oh wait, he might actually need that these days.
Great job, discount Carla Turk.
And now, meets Isildur.
You know, this guy.
I was going to say Isildur is an idiot, but actually no, he's not. His friends are idiots. One episode, Rings of Power. Can you give us just one episode without a laughably memeable line? Can you do that?
Someday, they will manage to rise to the level of forgettable.
The sea is always right.
But it is not this day.
There you are. Beric, my boy.
Meet Aarion. Aarion is not canon. Aarion does not matter.
What are you doing here?
That was Aarion, guys.
People talk about my boobs, that's about it.
They're trying to portray the factional split between the elf friends, aka the faithful, and the Kingsmen, aka the dicks. But they're not doing a very good job of it, and they don't seem to understand why there's a split. Just that there is, because some people are dicks. You see, this is what happens when you insist on short-term storytelling, because we don't get to understand the vast difference in experience and lifespan between humans and elves. We don't get to see it visually for ourselves, and we don't understand why mortal men would be so damn resentful.
But it's not like resenting elves for their immortality is going to be important in the story of the fall of Numenor. So that's an irrelevant detail anyway.
So, Tarmiriel has a chat with Elendil and recruits him for a mission, and ostensibly gives him Narsil? Why would she do that? First of all, Narsil was not the sword of the kings of Numenor. That was Arenruth that they had all the way down from Thingol. No. And why would Narsil come from her? And
you know, we have to stop.
Let's get back to the orcs. In this version, these orcs do not just dislike the sun. They apparently begin to boil alive if direct sunlight hits them, like they're some kind of goddamn Nosferatu.
Finally, an appealing character.
And despite the fact that, you know, these orcs will begin to curdle in direct sunlight, all these prisoners keep digging. You are Venusians working out in an acid atmosphere, and your tormentors can't follow you there. Just leave.
Being fair, this will happen.
Okay, but still, can they really shoot you all down? Go in mass, guys. I don't know.
These passages reach all the way to Odin. Possibly beyond. This must be how they escaped our detection.
Yeah, because we couldn't spot these miles and miles of tent-covered tunnels all the way up from our high vantage point of our elven tower. No. How did we not see this before? These things didn't spring up overnight.
Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
A bunch of little blobs moving around. I think they might be horses.
So the orcs are hunting town to town for something. I assume the same something that we're digging for?
They're searching for something. Some sort of weapon, perhaps.
Yeah, sure, because we can't get the Rings of Power right. This show needs another damn MacGuffin.
Trust me, it's a stupid MacGuffin even by this show's standards.
And the elves discuss this Adar fellow, and they guess that he might be Sauron, because as we know, Sauron had many names. Okay. Is it sad that so far Adar is the most intriguing part of this show?
And he hasn't even shown up yet.
Well, that's probably why he's intriguing. I'm sure when he shows up, he'll be disappointing.
First opportunity either of you has to get a glimpse above this trench, you take it. Locate the closest tree line, and when the sun is at its strongest, we will make our escape. If even one of us makes it home, we can return in force and sweep the enemy from these lands like salt from a table.
Salt from a table.
Because that's what you do with salt, is brush it off the table. What is with these metaphorical Mad Libs? Are these being written by someone with a stroke?
Oh wait, maybe it was written by these guys.
You spilled the salt. That's what's the matter. Spilling the salt is very bad luck.